Are you a pro wrestling fan? Then odds are at some point in your life, you were a backyard wrestler. In this new series, I'm going to take you through how we came from this to this. It's a long story, covering nearly 2 decades. But if you're a nostalgic person missing the backyard days of yesteryear and a simpler time of the 90s and early 2000s, this is the story for you. This is Backyard Wrestling Cinema. Welcome to Backyard Wrestling Cinema Season 6, Episode 2. On our last episode, we had left our neighborhood, Brookwood 4, in Jackson, New Jersey, and we were heading to our brand new arena. It was TJ Money's father's house, and if you've been following the series at all, you know that he and I had sort of a contentious relationship back in 2003. After we dug up the ring and took the entranceway and moved everything over to Tim's house, we had pretty much wasted the whole summer at this point. Our live show took place on July 13th, and we wouldn't do a show until the end of September of 2003. One of the things we changed up was in looking at our schedule and realizing we're losing a ton of people to college and various different things, we realized we could just change the date from Monday to Sunday when people didn't have college, and that would allow certain people to be able to make the show who wouldn't have been able to make it otherwise. And I know that sounds like such an obvious thing, but when you're in the thick of it and you've been doing something for so long and something so routine, you don't think of stuff like that. So fortunately for us, somebody came up with that idea. I don't remember if that was me or not, but it was really a game changer for us. The show starts off with Rico DMF approaching the owner, TJ Money, and he mentions he earned a title shot at the world title. And TJ Money says that the contract states that Criminal Cage, Rico's alter ego, is actually the #1 contender. Rico's very concerned about that. He had thought he had gotten rid of his split personality for good at the live show. Our first matchup is Bobby Bo taking on Mumbles. It was a #1 contender match for the hardcore title, but for whatever reason, it stayed inside the ring the whole time. In the end, Mumbles got the win with a small package.
He wants another, folks. Calling up one again. Oh, he blocks it. Oh, the small package. 1, 2, 3, and your #1 contender to the hardcore title.
Backstage, we see footage of Criminal Cage, and he walks away with Rico DMF's gear on the ground. Backstage, Christian Greed is losing control of the Old School Alliance. He approaches Homeboy Joe Slice to find out where Tommy Thunder is. Homeboy appears really annoyed at Christian Greed, and between myself and Christian Greed, we decide we need a new member, and we both know who that person is. However, we go in separate directions when we go to find him. Next up, LA Vin challenges the United States champion Homeboy Joe Slice. It was a brutal match. Maybe in the top 5 of all the great matches that Homeboy Joe Slice had back then. He was approaching the year-long reign of his U.S. title run.
Bounce it off. Oh! But he's caught from the crossbody and thrown back in by LA Vin. And over the top. Oh! To get turned. Homeboy getting tripped up in the match there. Turns him. Picks him up. There's a lot of torque on that lower back where he hurt early in the match. Oh! I don't know what happened there, folks. Homeboy's knee just...
And this match was kind of ruined for a lot of us because there was people on the trampoline, people on commentary were messing around and giggling, and these guys were really working hard, and I remember just being really frustrated with the entire environment and just trying to not let it bother me, knowing that me and TJ Money probably had bigger problems in real life. So if I blew up about something small or really started nitpicking, it would just cause further problems, but it was already making me question all our decisions to move back there. In the end, Homeboy Joe Slice wins and retains the U.S. title.
Talking and dancing, he's going up there, and he's a nail that cross body. He's getting 1, 2, 3, and your winner.
Next up, there's a vignette where I show Christian Greed that the Bird is back. The Bird was his walking stick and his best friend, and it's the new version of the Bird. It's the Platinum Edition, which just means I spray painted it. They both introduce their new members of the Old School Alliance. Christian Greed introduces the towering Joe D of Misery, who's been on a winning streak the last several events, and I bring in just in time the smallest member of our roster. Clearly, we're on different pages. Homeboy returns and is furious that we are now trying to get Joe D to join the Old School Alliance.
Hey, Homeboy, what are you guys, 1, doing by my car, and 2, what are you doing here?
Whoa, that's it. Wait a minute.
No. Why are you bringing him here?
He's a new member of the OSA. No, he's
Says
not.
who?
He did.
Says who?
Yeah, he is. Come on,
No,
man.
I can't have a part of that.
What do you mean you can't have a part of it? Come on, man.
There's a vignette where TJ Money fires Jean-Luc Lambert because he was going off to college. And I believe at this time we were going to change his character up. Next up, Joe D comes out with the new Old School Alliance. The new Old School Alliance. Okay. And he takes on the owner, TJ Money. And during this match, TJ Money did the same stuff we always got on him about, where the play wrestler shtick.
I have money going into this.
He did finance this new ring.
He does this Goldberg routine and...
Mr. Announcer, who's your favorite WWF wrestler?
Goldberg.
Goldberg. You like see me beat Joe D with Goldberg's finisher?
I don't, yeah, it'd be beautiful.
I would
Beautiful
love
thing.
that. You want beer in the jackhammer?
Yeah.
You got it.
I like Kurt Angle.
Come on.
Shoot at my guy. Does he know Goldberg's not a good wrestler?
Oh, OSA has some problems with this. Oh, huge!
I guess he does.
in the end, he got the win. And as he left the arena, Homeboy Joe Slice, the United States champion and former member of the Old School Alliance, was at the entranceway clapping for him. Next up was a vignette that Christian Greed actually came up with. It was a vignette that involved his daughter and TLD kind of bullying her backstage. Now, for us, Christian Greed was probably 10, 15 years older than all of us. So to us, his daughter was probably 15 at the time, and most of us were 16, 17, 18. So it's probably not a big age difference, but looking back at it, I'm just like, this just feels weird, you know? So it's not a vignette I came up with or anything I would have done personally, but you know, he wanted her involved, and she was at the shows and hanging out, and it was all in good fun. Their little scuffle ends up in a match where TLD takes on Christian Greed. It's a back and forth match, and you can see that Christian Greed is really putting in the work at this point. He gets the win, and post-match, Christian Greed gets attacked by Criminal Cage. His daughter jumps on the back of Criminal Cage, and he hits her in the head with a chair. In reality, all he did was hit himself in the head with a chair, and then she falls back onto the padding.
Oh, attacking Christian Greed. Christian Greed's daughter, what is she doing? Just looking on. Oh, she's Criminal Cage's back. And he just nailed her in the face. He just nailed the little girl in the head with a steel chair.
So it's clear that this feud between Criminal Cage and Christian Greed is going to continue. Next up is Just in Time taking on the Masters of Disaster. And once again, the Beast comes out and he's smoking cigarettes, and it's just not the kind of thing I want on our show. And again, I'm just trying to be a team player and not make a mountain out of a molehill. But the tensions between me and TJ are just, they're not in the back of my mind. They're in the very forefront of my mind. And I was doing my best to let everything slide, but my best probably wasn't good enough back then. And it's clear to me watching this stuff back that I was already, this is day one, and I was already starting to check out. At the end of the match, Hellspawn and the Beast had issues, and this allowed Just in Time to capitalize and get the win. Afterwards, the Beast bails on Hellspawn.
For the cover. One, two, and then the Beast pulling them off. Enough's enough, man. I'm gonna toss him throw it into the ring. Oh! Just in time, taking out Hellspawn. Going for the pin. Is the Beast gonna get involved? One, two, Beast is not helping him. And the Beast leaves, not even caring about the hardcore title.
Out next, I come out and I introduce the world champion, Tommy Thunder. Now, at this point, it was totally dark, and we tried using that to our advantage to kind of fake Tommy Thunder coming out, but it's clear that it's a dummy that Christian Greed is holding up. So I was trying to pull one over and claim the world title for my own as a heel. This evolved into a match with me versus Criminal Cage, and this one doesn't have a finish. The tape just kind of ended. So it's probably that either the tape ran out or it just got degraded over time, or somebody accidentally stopped recording. My memories of it were, in the end, a new group was formed called Truth, Hate, and Crime, and it was TJ Money, Criminal Cage, and Homeboy Joe Slice. And the reason they called it Truth, Hate, and Crime was because the initials, wait for it, were THC. Yep. Needless to say, I was not thrilled. It was our first show in this venue, and already I could see it unwinding. And less than 2 shows left before it all blew up. We'll see you next week right here on Backyard Wrestling Cinema.
Huge body slam. No, there we go. That belly to belly suplex. Felsen.
Top title on tonight's match. There's no way he can be beat.
Oh! Huge dominator.